on the content and not the appearance of the document so much. Hopefully they'll move into more of the LaTeX paradigm, because I never use Office suites. I always go to LaTeX when I want to write something. And the nice thing is you don't have to worry about what it looks like until you actually produce something from a template, and you just concentrate on your typing and your language, and you don't worry too much about anything else. And that's the opposite of what people do when they look at a piece of paper, an A4, and they try to put characters on it, and they don't think about hyphenation. So anyway, and then there is an interview with one of the major people in the project. That's Michael Meeks, and he says it's wrong to blame Oracle, and he tries to explain how Oracle was put in the situation where it bought Sun, and they don't have a real obligation for the project. And then we have all kinds of distros being named for supporting LibreOffice and putting it by default instead of OpenOffice.org, which is the Oracle product. And one of them is a distribution based on Mandriva, which we'll cover in a future show with a special guest, which we pretty much have confirmed now. And yeah, we might link to a few interviews that happened around the release of this fork. So yeah, that's about it for this. I think you have something about Facebook now to talk about.
Yeah. I just want to make a very quick point in regards to this LibreOffice. Now, I'm looking at this from the outside in. I don't even use OpenOffice. I use AbiWord, and that suits my needs. I only need a bold underline and a couple of tabs, and that's my document. But what gets me worried about this particular fork, for a long time, people that have been using OpenOffice or even AbiWord have been trying to tell people that have been spending money on Microsoft Office and saying, look, we've got an alternative here, it's viable, it's a decent software package, you'll be able to do everything that you want to do in the home or in the office with this free and open source package. And then a dispute or a situation arises where you have another fork of OpenOffice, and it further muddies, in my opinion, the sort of alternative to the end user. Now, I would always cite an example when our utilities, for example, the telephone, went to multiple providers where you could choose your provider. You didn't have to be with BT for your phone calls. And the confusion and the sort of mistrust that ensued after that was immense. And I think I mentioned it in the previous show. And I just get worried that when we're trying to convince people that, look, you don't have to spend money on these packages, you can cater for them, with an open source package, and then something else comes along, which is a completely, a fork of whatever. It sort of muddies the argument that we have to the customer or the end user who hasn't used it before. I don't know if I'm misinterpreting it wrong, but certainly when I'm trying to explain to people that they don't have to use Microsoft Office, it isn't made any easier by having obviously other alternatives. And I want to be able to say OpenOffice, that's the package everybody recommends. You can use that. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to pay money to Microsoft, and you can upgrade it for free and copy it to your friends. I don't know if you, Gordon or Roy, ever.
Well,
sorry, you go first.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, a joke is all in the timing. I had a joke about 5 minutes ago and didn't want to interrupt. I was patiently waiting. So I'll skip back in time about 5 minutes and recap a couple of things. You let me down there, Tim. You let me down. I was expecting something better there. This, where I'm scrolling back, the Python thing. You'd said that it can be used by 12-year-olds, and here I thought you were going to say, I've invented a time machine, and that's my project. So I was able to go back in time to when I was 12 to test it personally. But you let me down and said, it says that in the inside jacket of the book.
I'm not sure you should give a Python to a 12-year-old anyway. I thought I was going to.
Well, there was that, and then there was mentioning that Parrot was something I heard. They were interviewed on Twit. I don't really like Twit that much, but they were interviewed on Twit ages ago. So if you got to go and check that out, you can do. It'll be on their archives.
Probably for Parrot as well. Parrot, you probably want to use that. No, the reason I learned quite a bit about the importance of this project because we're talking about Mono and how to replace that, and Parrot is one of those things that needs more attention because not many people know about that. I just was going to answer Tim's question about the OpenOffice. I think it's really more of an issue of branding. So if you say use OpenOffice, and you say, well, LibreOffice is OpenOffice, and it's the same, and then you show them, look, it's the same, and they look at the interface, oh yeah, it's the same, and everything opens just fine. I don't think it matters so much as long as it works with them.
You see, I would argue we've got to remember, and this has been my argument all along. A lot of these people, the mainstream user, the average user, if you will, doesn't really care who makes the package or how it's made or what it's running with or what it depends on. They just want to do a task. So the job of convincing people to do a lifestyle change or a computing lifestyle change to another package is a hard enough task as it is. And like I say, now we have a LibreOffice. Now, I might have missed all this sort of the story and the drama. I'm sure there was a drama that went behind this, but I can't see. I can't see the good this does, because surely this plays into Microsoft's hands, where they say, well, look, you've got all these projects going on the free and open source world. It's chaos out there. You stick with us. We'll look after you. You've got one package, and you won't need to worry about anything else. And that's the concern I have. Like I say, go on.
So there is one potential issue that I can see. It's as I understand it, LibreOffice is because apparently what's been happening with OpenOffice is the control that Sun or Oracle or whoever's been leading the project has had is that's been sort of hit and miss, completely random, as far as people submitting features and plugins and whether it gets rejected or accepted or not seems to be kind of random because of their control over it. And the idea behind LibreOffice is that it's a true the cathedral and the bazaar. It's a true bazaar where people with an idea can submit it, and if people pick it up, they pick it up. It's a true open environment for plugins and things like that. So where I can see a problem is if I create a document, say in LibreOffice, and it's ODF, it's all open document, it's all standards, open standards and whatever, and I send you that, and unbeknownst to me, I happen to have used some feature that's only a plugin available on LibreOffice. And you open it and you can't get it. It harks back to the days of having to save a document in .doc, Windows XP, Office XP, or Office 2003 .doc, because it's a different .doc. This would be a similar. I'm sort of visualizing a similar kind of fragmentation there. Where
they use ODF, as far as I know, and Oracle has just announced today, as far as I know, they do a renewal of all the icons that are supposed to represent ODF, because I don't think it's very consistent just yet. It's kind of consistent, but some people change that. But they have it's called the Document Foundation. It's kind of dedicated to, or at least supposed to be loyal to ODF. So I think they'll coordinate in some way with IBM and with all the Oasis thing. They'll make sure they stay compliant with ODF. So I
think it's early days, and I think it's a good thing. It really is a good thing, and I hope that others get involved and focus around that and build from that.
They recently bragged about having more people involved now in LibreOffice than ever have been working on full time on OpenOffice.org. So it seems like the migration, the exodus from Oracle, the people who used to contribute free of, for their coffee or something, they moved into the Oracle free project now. So it seems like it's working kind of okay.
I think it's sort of been an idea that has been demanded. People have been waiting for this to happen in some form for many years. And as soon as a few projects have got their heads together and said, right, we're going to do this, and creating a foundation and all of that, a lot of projects have jumped on board, and a lot of distributions have said, when it's ready, we want it, we will throw out OpenOffice and we will use LibreOffice. I mean, you only have to look down at the distros that have got behind it. They'll war on all sorts of little details, and they're all getting behind.
They told me about this thing exactly 2 weeks before the announcement. So I was one of the two sources which were kind of under embargo for a while and basically knew about the news before it was announced.